winners and losers of the weekend. Ted, who do you got as your winner of the weekend?
Well, I thought about going with the Stars T-ball team. Participated in a tournament this weekend. Bombs for your moms T-ball tournament. Got a ring, second place ring. It was fun. It was brutal out there today with the wind blowing and dust blowing, but
Your
the
face
kids
doesn't.
did
Your
great.
face looks fine. It's not red or anything. You're fine.
I made a kid cry.
Hold on, hold on. We're not just gonna blow through that. Explain yourself immediately, sir.
I'm what you may call an intense first base coach. And part of it is because my son, he requires, like, I'm not yelling at my son. It's just everything has to be like at a volume that, because he is so like paying attention to other things, I've got to give him a loud burst of sound to snap him out of it. So whenever I'm first base coach and I'm getting the kids to run through first base, it could be pretty loud and I don't know. I don't want to say aggressive, but I guess I scared a kid and he was crying. And I was like, "What's wrong, dude? You're safe. You made it. That's why you run all the way through the base. Good job." And he's like, trying to breathe and crying. And I was like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" He's like, "I'm just scared." I was like, "You scared because I was yelling at you? I'm sorry, man. You did great. You did great. You did exactly what I was asking you to do." So that was a, I was like, God, it, I don't think I'm being that guy, but maybe I am. Maybe I am, Gabe. I
Dude,
don't
you're
know.
totally that guy. I bet your veins were popping out of your neck.
Just right.
I would pay good money to see that footage of that kid crying because you were. Were you just yelling "run"?
Run, like, because we were playing a really good team, which, by the way, our team is 6, and this team is all 5-year-olds, and they are really good, like shockingly good for 5-year-olds, and they kicked our butt. But like, if you hit a grounder in the infield, like, it's coming to first base and it's probably going to beat you there if you're not running full speed. That's how good they are. Usually T-ball, like, if you make contact with the ball, you're getting on base. Like, it's rare that you get out. So this team, they're gunning you out at first. So I'm trying to get them to run all the way through the bag. And if I don't tell them to run all the way, they'll like stop and look, and I don't know. It's time to
What? Hey,
reevaluate my process, I think.
whatever you got to tell yourself, man.
Hey, he
Whatever.
was fine after that. He was fine after that.
There you go. Oh,
Just a little scared.
that's so good. Okay, who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
I had to go. Let's stick with the diamond sports. I had to stay with OU softball, locking up their 9th consecutive Big 12 regular season title. Tough little series up in Stillwater. A lot of fun, but this team, Gabe, I mean, we can talk about the superlatives all day. 16-1 in league play, only lost the one game there to State in the series. 42-2 overall. This team's going to go right to the championship. They've got a good chance to win another natty. This group is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and like you said, it was a tough series for them. Dropped the first one. Third one got interesting there, right? They got
Yeah.
out to the big 9-1 lead, and you're like, okay, we're cruising. And let's be real. And I think this says a lot about Patty Gasso's team. Like, Juarez and Sale weren't at their best in that third game, right? They were getting beat up. Sale couldn't find the strike zone when she came in for Juarez. And how about the freshman coming in? Nicole Magis really coming up clutch for that team. And, Jada Coleman, I first of all love that kid's energy. Let's go. But with a full house in Stillwater, how about that was interesting timing on that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to 100% capacity for
Yeah,
this.
when the Sooners are coming to town, which, by the way, I guess this is the first time they've played 3 in one location, right? It's usually split up.
I think Plank told me it's the first time since 1997. We actually had Kenny Gajewski, who's the OSU softball coach, on my Sirius show this week. He's been pushing for it for years because his reasoning was that it gets you more ready for regionals, because that's how the regional format it is. You play 3 in a row, like that one spot. So that was his argument, and that they didn't have enough quality series in the Big 12 conference like some of the SEC teams have in their conference play. So that's what he said. He said Patty Gasso was pissed at him for it, though.
Well, I thought it made for a great series. Obviously, good move or bad move of Okie State turning off the scoreboard behind where the Sooners were taking their picture.
I thought that was well done. I thought that was well done. I will say this, because that's what was it? The second game is when Patty Gasso got tossed, right? The one that was on Saturday.
I think that's right.
I would pay so much money to have that audio of her laying in to that umpire. First of all, they knocked her hand off the base. Everyone saw it. I wonder what she said, because you got to say something extreme to get tossed out of a softball game. I feel like you don't see that every day, especially not as Patty Gasso. I'm sure she's been tossed before and I just can't remember it, but that was one of those moments where I was like, ESPN, do what's right and give us that audio. Bleep it, edit it, do what you have to do, but we need to hear it.
Yeah. Can I ask a quick semi-related question?
Absolutely.
Championship game of the T-ball tournament. I'm coaching first base. And this is the reason why I yell at the kids and have to pound it into their head to keep running. There's going to be a play at first. Our kid stops a foot short, just stops, hits the brakes, because their first baseman was kind of blocking the base a little bit. So a lot of our kids kept he was just he was over a lot of first base. So they kept getting up there, and they were didn't know what to do, and they'd kind of stop. So one of our kids stops, the kid catches it, then our kid puts his foot down, blatantly out, and they call him safe. So, and I'm right there as the first base coach, and it's not even close. He's out. And the opposing coaches challenged it and everything. They ruled him safe. What do I do?
You don't say shit.
that's
I listen. Okay, if homeboy if he is blocking the bag, first of all, I'm not coaching T-ball yet. I doubt it's in my future. I'll probably just be the dad in the stands, not saying anything. But if he's really in the base path, you got to steamroll that dude. I mean, someone's got to teach him a lesson. Maybe we're breaking a leg. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but
I'll just tell you that
you got to get him off the bag, Teddy. You can't let him hog the bag.
In some form or another, Gabe, I discussed with my son that the baseline is his. Okay, that's how that discussion went. A little. I mean, I'm just kind of. I had that discussion about the back.
We are cut from the same cloth, sir. No, but
okay. So I don't say anything, right? That's what I did. But I was like, oh my God, it wasn't even close. I think everyone in the entire place, all of our parents, everyone knew he was out except for the umpires. The two umpires are the only people there that didn't see it.
Do you think the umpires were like, hey, this kid, he's all over the baseline. Next guy, we're calling him safe.
Yeah, maybe
we're going to throw him a bone.
It would have been a really big deal had they not killed us 20-something to 7. But,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't think you did anything wrong. The first thing I thought about was remember that stupid NCAA commercial where it touches the kid's hand? He's like, Coach, I touched it. And then the coach goes and tells the ref, I touched it. They gave it to the other team. That would never happen. Who in the world would do that? Yeah. Hey, honesty is great. Winning is better. I'm just kidding.
That's right.
But don't let it sit on your conscience, man. You're good. You're
All
good.
right.
You're
It's
fine.
fair.
Hey,
Fair enough.
the other team, they got their first place ring. They're all good.
Yeah, they did.
I still can't get over you making the kid cry. That's so good. Okay, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Well, you just said that the other team had um, their first place ring. I thought about going with the USCSA. I don't know if you can see that, but it says tournament finalist. There is no championship ring, first place ring, and second place ring, Gabe. It's tournament finalist. You can see right there, finalist.
Our YouTube viewers are gonna really that. First of all, that's a nice ring. A nice.
It is.
Is that pink?
Yeah, it's pink. It's the Bombs for Your Mom's Mother's Day.
Hey, I'm all for the pink.
This team we play was a travel team, and they all had like their mom's name on the back of their really cool wear them once uniforms, and that's it. But I
were you playing the Los Angeles Dodgers?
Yes.
What the hell was going on?
We're playing all
here?
of the Los Angeles Dodgers kids. I think they were unbelievable. I know they're 6. They can handle it. They know they lost the game. Okay, we were keeping score and everything. It's okay to get second place. They can handle it. But I don't know. I thought about going with that, but instead, Gabe, I went with pretty much everyone else. Nick Saban and Alabama. This one-time transfer thing, I feel like could be the death of college football.
He warned us.
Everyone's going to Alabama. They just got the am I saying it right? 2020 kid, Henry
To'oTo'o.
Okay, out of Tennessee. Fantastic linebacker. And I know Heupel and those guys were doing everything they could to keep him around, been in the transfer portal, but he goes to Alabama. He's one of maybe the best linebacker in the country. They got the Jameson Williams kid, Ohio State wide receiver, really good player there, highly recruited player. And maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe there's more to come. Not necessarily sure, but Saban lost guys to the draft, and he's already making up for it a little bit with the transfer portal. And those guys, yes, will be eligible immediately.
And I know in the SEC, they still haven't changed their interconference transfer rule.
Right.
They will. It's coming. But Nick Saban told us it's very similar to when all the RPO stuff started. And he was like, hey, are y'all sure this is what you want college football to be? That was not like that. That was more of a warning than a question. Like, you're sure? He said the same stuff about the transfer portal where he's like, guys, I know how you think this is going to work, but I'm telling you, I'm just going to get all of your players. They're all going to want to come play for me. Now, he didn't say it that directly, but he basically was like, yeah, this could be an issue for a lot of people. He is what is the school going to tell their kid? Like, hey, don't go to Alabama. Why would you do that? With the amount of games they win and the draft picks that he puts out, like, what do you say? Is your only thing like, hey, man, you may not be good enough to get on the field?
That's
like,
the only thing you have, which you never want to tell a kid, right? You're not good enough to play there. What? Wait, hang on. What did you say? Is that my fault or is that your fault? Yeah, so, I don't know. Yeah, it's especially when they keep pumping out. I know it's not every year, but 6 first rounders, and it's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Alabama's gonna be. I think they're gonna be pretty good next year, and I think they're gonna be good the year after that, and after that, and after that, and after that, and hopefully by then Saban's like, you know what, I've won enough. I'm good. I want to play golf.
Here's what's crazy, Gabe. I don't even know honestly if I think they may just now be starting to hit their peak because of I think the college football playoff thing, man. It's made the strong get even stronger. I went back and looked like over the last 5 recruiting classes. Oklahoma has 5 composite 5-star recruits over the last 5 recruiting classes. Alabama has 22. Georgia has 23. Ohio State has 19. Like those teams are getting stronger and stronger and stronger and separating themselves more and more. And now you add the transfer portal to the mix, and it's even more strength for those guys.
Saban warned us. We didn't
That's
listen.
right.
Always listen to Lord Saban. Okay, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with China because that rocket of theirs that was just out of control coming crashing towards Earth. Hey, it ends up landing in the Indian Ocean, Ted. So it didn't hurt anyone, didn't kill anybody. That was good. That was a
I
good.
mean, it's like, hey, if you're in the Western Hemisphere, you may want to just watch out. You never know if a rocket's going to come careening down on top of your house.
It had kind of an Armageddon feel to it, maybe with less Aerosmith, but I don't know. But I was glad. I was like, okay, landed safely, didn't kill anyone. That's a good thing. Also thought about going with DK Metcalf. Anybody making fun of him for time for last in that race, like, what are you doing? I mean, that dude went out and did something that there's not many people on the planet can do in the first place. And I get it, but this kid, he hasn't run track since high school and just casually busts out like a 10.36, 10.37, whatever it was. That is flying at that
Yeah,
size.
it is. And you can go back and watch it. I watched it, and he's got another tenth in there. He's the biggest guy there, right? And I don't know the last time he ran a 100-meter sprint. It's probably been a really long time, but he's got a lot of adrenaline. He wants to run really fast. So whenever you watch out of the gates, he's the first guy that pops up. And he should be the last guy because he's the biggest, longest guy. His drive phase should be way longer, but you see all the other guys are down driving and he's up running. He's just not seasoned. He's going against a bunch of track guys that have been running a bunch of races with more time, more polish. I guarantee you he could trim plenty of time off of that, and it just proves that the guy's just an absolute freak. I love it.
He is, I mean, he's an alien. Like, oh, he was flying, bro. But
I feel like he would have run the same exact time if he was wearing his full pads, helmet, shoulder pads, everything.
he would run. Hey, if you just stick Buda Baker out in front of him, he
He
probably would
needs
have gone.
that's what he needs a rabbit.
Yeah, he needs a
He's a
rabbit to
greyhound. He
chase.
needs a rabbit out there to chase down.
But my winner of the weekend is Steph Curry. He was awesome against the Thunder on Saturday night. Goes for 49 points. Didn't even play in the fourth quarter. And I think now that the Thunder and Warriors, like that rivalry isn't what it was a couple years ago, right? Where it felt like that's kind of where the NBA championship was going through, like one of those teams. But I feel like I can appreciate him more now because him playing well doesn't make me as sad or angry. And he's amazing. I mean, he was, you go look at that game, he was just ridiculous in the first quarter, ridiculous in the third quarter. And we may get a Warriors Lakers matchup in that 7-8 play-in game, which is awesome. But Steph Curry is the best shooter in the history of basketball ever. I mean, no one has ever been able to shoot the ball like this guy, and it's fun to watch. I mean, it's really fun to watch. He's very likable to me, and I also really, and maybe one of the real reasons he was my winner of the weekend is because I appreciate him contributing to the Thunder tanking cause. Thank you, Curry. Thank you, Mr. Curry. But he is, I mean, he's unbelievable, man. I don't know what to say. Like watching him when when he is feeling it, I don't know if there's a more entertaining thing to watch in sports than him just going off shooting the basketball. It is absolutely mesmerizing to watch.
It's insane. What was the game whenever he hit the long one? It'd
The
be right
double
in front of
bang
where you
game.
guys. Was that it?
Yeah,
In
Mike
front of.
Breen, double bang. Hurt my soul. They were in those stupid sleeved black jerseys. Oh God.
Well, here's what's insane. Which he's likable whenever they're where they are now in the standings. Whenever they're at the top of the standings and I have to watch him chew on that stupid mouthpiece, which I cannot stand. If he didn't do that, I would probably like the guy a lot more. But we've been worn down over time with Steph Curry. We're worn down. Like,
Right.
it's amazing to us what he's doing. But Gabe, if you went back to the late 80s or early 90s and showed them where he hits threes from on a regular basis, no one would believe what they're watching. No one would believe that. You can't take that shot in a basketball game with someone guarding you. No one would do that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And he does it, and somehow he's become efficient at it. It is amazing what these guys really, he's changed the game dramatically. That shot was, it was a circus shot. It was the end of a quarter shot, maybe trying to get a 2-for-1 or something like that. It wasn't a routine shot. He's made it a routine shot. And now there's several guys in the NBA that you've got to pick up as soon as they cross half court. It's nuts.
Yeah, and Ty Jerome's one of them, baby. Let's go. Making it rain. Let's go. He is hitting some deep threes. But your Thunder update, they have now lost 20 of 21. They just might sneak into the bottom 3 in the standings. Just a reminder to the bottom 3 teams, they all get the same odds of getting the first pick and staying in the top 4 picks. So thank you to Steph Curry for helping the Thunder continue a masterful tank job during the back half of the season. It is appreciated. Okay, my loser of the weekend. I thought about going with your boy, Ted, Bryson DeChambeau, because him thinking he missed the cut there at Wells Fargo in North Carolina and flying home to Dallas only to find out that he actually made the cut and having to fly back out there at like 2-something in the morning is it's like the most DeChambeau thing of all time. I immediately thought of you when it happened.
How does that happen? Explain that to me.
Okay. He played poorly on Friday, and when he got done, he was in like 90th.
Mm-hmm.
And the top 65 were making the cut. But it got super windy there Friday afternoon, and a bunch of guys were posting a bunch of high numbers, and he ended up at like 64th. And he was already back in Dallas.
But he's flying private. Like, what's the hurry?
It's DeChambeau. What do you mean? He's like, oh, come on. Well, and I think it's Byron Nelson is this week. So he probably wanted to get back and, start getting ready for that. But when something's just so on brand that you're like, wait, is that fake?
Oh, that's great.
But hey, and credit to the dude. Hey, ends up getting back and finishes in the top 10, and he'll cover the costs of that flight that he had to take from that mix-up. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I would have felt really bad imagine if like one of the other guys on tour that like doesn't fly private had to like drive back to get, or do something crazy like that. At least he's got the ability to, you go, oh, hey boys, I know you thought you had the night off, but fire that sucker back up. Fuel her up. I'll be back up there in a few minutes.
Yeah, I was reading an article about it. And I think they thought about doing that, but the crew, there was like the hours limit for the crew, so they had to get a new crew. It was a disaster. But I will say this: played some pretty damn good golf on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so
sometimes adversity is what you need, Gabe. Right? Throw a little wrench into the sequence.
Adversity and a long ass driver, baby. Let's go. But my loser of the weekend, it's got to be horse racing. I was gonna make it. I was gonna make my loser just Bob Baffert, but this whole thing feels like a nightmare for the entire sport. I mean, you look at Medina Spirit. That's how you say it, right? Medina. Every time I say it. I think that's how they said it on the call during the Kentucky Derby. So that's what I'm going with. But Medina Spirit fails the post-race drug tests after the Kentucky Derby. Had too much of an anti-inflammation steroid in its system. And I'm so confused about this whole thing because I mean, Bob Baffert's like the only horse trainer we all know, right? Because he gets all the coverage. We all watch 2 or 3 horse races a year, and they talk about Bob Baffert a lot. So he's like almost to me, he's like the face of horse racing in my mind. Like if someone was like, "Hey, name someone in horse racing," I'd be like Bob Baffert. That's all I got. But he made it sound like him and his people like didn't do anything wrong at all. Like his comments made it sound like he thinks someone is sabotaging him and the horses. But it's like his 5th horse that has failed for this in particular drug. Last time I checked, Ted, I could be wrong, but horses can't give themselves steroids. Like they can't take them on their own, as far as I know.
Right. No, they can't. I don't know if he's insinuating that someone is tampering with his horses.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Either because he wants the sample DNA tested to make sure it's the proper sample, retested, all of that. And the only other thing is that either someone's tampering with the test, improper test, or someone's tampering with his horses. But I'll tell you, it may be easier to get to Aaron Rodgers the night before a Super Bowl than it is to get to one of these horses the night before a Kentucky Derby, if you know what I mean. It's like they are in lockdown and there is someone at their side. So I don't know. I know nothing about it. All I know is that here recently over the last year, his horses has been popped a bunch. What was it? The Arkansas Derby, I think one of his horses got popped and he got fined there. So something's going on. And at best, it's like, I don't know. I was going to say someone's tampering, but even if someone's tampering with his stuff, it's still a black eye for the sport.
Right.
Whether it's legit testing and he's cheating, it's bad. But it's the same thing if someone else is tampering with his horses. It makes the sport look tainted and illegitimate. So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. So you've either got the most famous trainer in your sport cheating, or you've got some sabotaging going on, which would be a much more interesting story.
I like how he said, I'm not into conspiracy theories, but,
but Nick Saban, what do you say? We talk about Nick Saban a lot. I bring him up a lot. I'm realizing that now, but hey, the two words are and but. Yeah. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
right. Exactly.
So, I mean, for horse racing, you've got a cheater technically that won the most prestigious race in your sport. Then you've got a bunch of pissed off gamblers, right? Because the people that bet on, what was it called? Like Mandolin or whatever the horse that got second was, the horse was like 26-1. I mean, those people are furious now, but
Vegas escapes again, don't they?
Absolutely.
Which I don't know what the total numbers were. There may have been more money total bet on Medina Spirit.
But I guess they might feel a little better knowing that Baffert is going to have to give all the money back, right? But I don't know. And the craziest thing is they're talking about the Preakness and Medina Spirit still running in the Preakness. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's different because horse racing it's like, right now, he's suspended from Churchill Downs. Like his horses can't run at Churchill Downs, but a new venue, it's not like they're in a league or something, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah. So anybody that watches the Preakness can be like, wait, they're still letting the cheating horse go? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to bet on that one.
Yeah. Especially if the post-race test doesn't come out for 2 weeks and I've already cashed my ticket. You kidding me?
I don't know, man. That whole thing is wild. I hope it's sabotage. That's going to be so cool.
Oh, I know. If it's going to be bad, just give us the total bad story, right?
Yeah.
This Oklahoma breakdown, I know it's got you crying.